This presentation is about Rose, a 24-year-old woman with Native American heritage who has moved to Ireland. I'll briefly look at 4 theories throughout my presentation: culture shock, cultural memory, cultural safety, and othering. Rose lives in a native preserve in Canada, which consists of 350 houses. It is situated 34 kilometres from the nearest town of Peterborough. Rose moved to Ireland just over a year ago when an opportunity arose in her college which would allow her to complete her social care degree 1 year sooner than if she completed it in Canada. She always wanted to travel, so it was an ideal opportunity. It wasn't a difficult decision for her because it was something that she really wanted to do and was very organised before arriving. Cohen and Marie describes culture shock as a negative experience of interaction with a person from another culture. Rose experienced culture shock once. It was when a settled Irish person was telling her about Irish travellers. She had never heard of them before and couldn't understand why the majority of people racially discriminated against them. That conversation made her very uncomfortable and she didn't agree with it. The cultural differences that Rose has noticed since she has been here are that Irish people do not seem involved in the community compared to Native Americans, where there is a sense of the whole community raising a child. Native people also believe in a creator as opposed to a god. They do not go to church to pray, instead they give thanks throughout the day. Native people are very connected to nature. They respect the earth, animals, and people equally. They believe that animals are the Creator's way of teaching them something. This is an aspect that Rose feels she is missing out on while she is in Ireland, because we do not have many animals that she is used to seeing, such as raccoons, bears, and loons. Ireland has some similarities to the native culture. She finds that the Irish people are also environmentally conscious by recycling, saving electricity, and using compost bins. Food is also similar. She has not experienced any major dietary changes. She also believes that the Irish people are very welcoming and friendly, which is similar to that of native people. According to John Osman, cultural memory is a faculty which allows us to build a narrative picture of the past. Rose brought a dream catcher, moccasin slippers, and a sage stick, eagle feather, and an abalone shell, so she could still feel connected to her culture while she is away. She brought a dream catcher, which is believed to catch all the bad dreams and help her to remember the good ones. Dreams are an important aspect of the native culture, as they believe that the Creator tries to show or teach them something through dreams. She brought her moccasin slippers, which are handcrafted by Native American people and are made from animal hide. Rose brought the sage stick, eagle feather, and the abalone shell so she could carry out a ceremony known as smudging. Smudging is a way to bless, protect, or cleanse a person, object, or room. It is believed to eliminate any negative energies or spirits and replace them with positive energies. Rose brought these so she could smudge the house she moved into in Sligo. Rose has not experienced othering. Othering is when a group perceive an individual as not belonging or different in some fundamental way. Rose believes that the reason she has not been treated any different is because she is a Canadian citizen with native heritage, which many people may not realise. She doesn't think Irish people have much knowledge or understanding of the native culture. The Indigenous knowledge system mentions traditions, states that many of the core values, beliefs, and practices associated with Indigenous people have survived major social upheavals. Rose participates in 2 practices in particular. The first is called a moon ceremony. This takes place once a month for the full moon and at night time. It involves women sitting around a fire and either praying or getting something off their chest, then throwing tobacco into the fire. The reason the tobacco is thrown into the fire is so the smoke of it drifts up towards the sky, representing it reaching the Creator, who will hopefully answer their prayers. The next is called a powwow. The date for this is different for every reserve, but on Rose's reserve it happens once a year and in autumn. It is a social gathering with lots of native dancing and drumming. There are also stands with native foods, crafts, and gifts. The money raised from the stands goes towards the community. The powwow can last between 1 and 3 days. Jessica Ball defines cultural safety as an environment that is spiritually, socially, and emotionally safe, as well as physically safe for people. The native culture is generally not a very safe place. The physical safety is not met because there are very few houses with clean water. On Rose's reserve, only 60 out of 350 houses have clean water. The houses are also overcrowded. There tends to be a lot of abuse in the reserve, which results in their safety needs not being met. The majority of native men have little or no respect for women. There is no incentive for young people to get an education. This is due to the low socio-economic environment that they live in. Very few children stay in school to complete grade 12, which is the equivalent to the Irish Leaving Certificate, and even fewer get the opportunity to go to college or university. Post-secondary education is very expensive in Canada, usually between $8,000 and $10,000 per year. However, native people with a status card can get a grant, so they do not have to pay for between 80 and 100% of that, but they must meet very strict criteria. They must be able to show what the money is spent on, and they need to keep a certain grade throughout college. This grade is usually above 75%. If at any stage they do not meet the criteria, they would never be eligible for the grant again. Rose is due to return to Canada at the end of May, where she wishes to pursue her Masters in Social Work in the Aboriginal field of study. The terms Aboriginal and Native American are often used interchangeably. The main difference is that Native Americans are more common in Central and South America, whereas the Aboriginal culture is seen more in Australia. Rose has some hopes for the future of the Native American culture, which are to have more inclusion into the wider society, to have better educational opportunities, to have less discrimination and racism, to have spiritual healing for all Native tribes, and for more awareness to be made in Canada surrounding the Native culture. Certain things catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture your heart. This is a Native American saying which is very relevant in our everyday lives. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation. Miigwech. This means thank you in Ojibwe, which is Rose's native language. Any questions are welcome.